On this fateful day, I boarded a cab from the University of Ibadan to Iwo Road, and when I got into the cab, I met two men there already seated, and the cab driver told me to go in with my change. I didn't have the change, cause so I decided to ask the person sitting beside me if he had change and all of that, so that we can just link together and give him the cash. We got engrossed in a discussion, so I realized that it was actually a master's student in the University of Ibadan. We just kept on talking. We paid the man, the cab driver. A few minutes later, I realized that we were about to get to our destination. Then the other man beside me called his wife. His wife called, and he said he's going to be in the destination, which is Iwo Road, very soon. So when we got to the destination, he refused to drop us, and I was wondering what's happening here. Just drop us. I was telling the man, he just told me to just keep quiet, that he can't drop us at that particular place. Okay, I was just trying to see what was going on, and then suddenly I just saw the person beside me. It was suddenly paralyzed. I was still trying to see what was going on. Okay, are you fine? I was asking him questions because he could speak in English. I was asking him questions. Are you fine? Are you okay? He didn't give me a reply and all of that. So the other person sitting beside him, I asked him. Suddenly I realized that he was deaf and dumb. He could not say anything. He could not hear. He was trying to talk, but he could not just talk. I was still trying to, okay, is everything fine here? But it looked as though it wasn't fine. I just started praying in tongues because I was quite scared. I started praying in tongues. Just kept on moving, and he moved to a particular point. I think Lagos Ibadan Expressway. There were no cars around at all. What I could only see was trailers. Suddenly, he picked up a prophet, a so-called prophet. He sat at the front seat. What was going on? I was still trying to wonder what was going on. I could not figure it out at that point. When he got in the car, he asked the cab driver why I was still fine, I was still perfectly okay. And the cab driver just told him that I've even been giving him issues since I entered because I've been asking different questions and all of that. The prophet said, okay, you shouldn't bother, that he's going to do some things now. I don't know, maybe perform captation. I saw that he dipped his hand into his purse and brought out an handkerchief. Just decided to put it over my head 3 times, and suddenly he just jerked and looked at me and said, okay, who is your godfather? Then they drove us past to, I think, I don't know the place, but it was just bushes all over, and drove us to a thick forest. We got there, and we saw an uncompleted building. We drove in, there was a path. It was so, because we could not even drive inside because it was so bushy and all of that. So we walked into a path. Suddenly, some bouncers came out to pick up the paralyzed man and deaf and dumb man. When I saw them, they looked so mighty and huge. I was so scared when I saw them because I go for parties a lot, but these ones are so different. They were so huge and mighty. And they actually picked up the paralyzed man as if we were carrying something very light, like TV, actually. So I was just walking behind them, praying in tongues, and I reached out for my phone. Completely off, and the battery was fully charged before I left the house. And I tried to check my small phone, it was still intact. So I decided to put a call across to Pastor Tommy. I called him, then he spoke words over me, told me to just keep on praying in the Holy Ghost. Then within few seconds, I saw pastor's step. Pastor told me to begin to pray in tongues and to, goodness is going to rise up in my heart, that I'm delivered up from the lion's den. And I read the text, and I was blessed. I felt peace in my heart at that particular time. So I knew definitely I was going to be supernaturally kept. So I saw dogs all around. Naturally, I fear dogs. I hate dogs. I don't like dogs. So, but then I just saw this peace all around me. I kept on praying in tongues, and I got to a place like a corner in the around the uncompleted building. I heard pastor's voice, like all the pastor's voice, the Standing Church pastor's voice, all over. It sounded like echoes all around my ears, and I kept on hearing, you are heavily defended, you are heavily defended. With that, I just kept on praying in tongues. Then I got an pastor's message again to just follow my heart. It was more like an instruction to just follow my heart. So I felt in my heart to just walk boldly past them. And at that time, I still kept on hearing the voices. Suddenly, I just grabbed myself and walked past boldly in their midst, in the midst of the fairy dogs, in the midst of the bouncers. It was just so amazing for me. I wasn't scared. I just felt God around me. Like I felt God on my inside. I was so bold. I walked past them praying in the Holy Ghost. So when I got to a particular part, okay, that was outside the uncompleted building, like outside the camp, the lion's den. I saw an old man. He looked more like Jesus. He held my hand, and I never knew him from anywhere. I've never seen him before. He held my hands, and we walked past through the camp, and I realized something, that when we got to the place, when we got to the road path where I could see signboard and cars passing, I realized that it was quite shorter compared to when we got in, because when we walked in, it was quite long. The distance was quite long. So I felt there was supernatural or angelic manifestation there, because the distance was quite short, and suddenly I felt he told me to look down. I saw money, like money appeared on the floor. So he told me to pick it up for my transfer fare. Then I took a cab from there and got home, and was financially delivered.